Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series getting you the most from the Fashion Report minigame when judging begins in the Gold Saucer every Friday. This is week 111 and the theme this time is Tribal Dance. The clues include give beads a chance for your helm, go west for your chest, coiled finally for your gloves, and mountain bread for your legs. In this video we'll have a 100 score, an 80 with only dies, and the easiest possible 80 of the week to get you the most MGP. Firstly, let's look at that 100 score. For 100 then, I went with the Ghost Bark Circlet of Fending. This is actually a beaded helm for fending classes only that you can acquire from the Siren Song C, specifically off of the second boss. You can actually get this from the treasure chest just before that second boss as well. Both drop rates are pretty abysmal, so bear that in mind. Alternatively, however, you can go for a scintillant circlet of striking, scouting, or aiming, which are crafted with Goldsmith. The reason I didn't go with that in particular is because one of the later pieces I decided I wanted to put into a fending set. For the chest, you need to get the New World Jacket. This is a crafted Weaver chest piece that you might remember. You can buy this from other players, and essentially it is the only option for this week. It is the only one that will give you gold anyway. For your hands, this can be any replica or original Dreadworm gauntlets, vambraces, etc. The hand slot of the Dreadworm set. So I specifically went for the replica Dreadworm gauntlets of Fending, which of course is a armorer craft with materials obtained from the final coil of Bahamut. The replica pieces of Dreadworm gear can be purchased on the market board, whereas the original Dreadworm stuff has to be acquired from the dungeon itself, but any Dreadworm gloves will give you gold this week. For the legs then, I went with the Nomad's Breeches of Fending. This is actually something you can acquire in Bardam's Metal, another Stormblood dungeon, and the reason I went for this is because I already had them, and essentially I already had the gloves as well for my tank. Alternatives to this include any Nomad's Breeches. Basically that includes fending, maiming, striking, aiming, or healing. I'm not going to put casting on here because I haven't tested that. And alternatively to that, you could also go for the Kudzu Culottes of Crafting or the Kudzu Culottes of Gathering, but that will of course lock you to a Gatherer or Crafter and will make the other slots pretty much impossible to reach for a 100 score. So let's move on to an 80 with just dies. So everything on your left side needs to be dyed, and you need an item in every single equipment slot on your entire character sheet, in every accessory slot, etc. So firstly, dye your weapon apple green dye. Your helm needs to be soot black, your chest cobalt brown, your hands soot black, your legs cobalt brown, and finally your feet, for the best dye, needs to be pearl white. This is one of the new dyes from the Ishgard restoration, added in 5.21, which is quite humorous considering that will cost you Sky Builder scripts or a ton of gil on the market board. So the dye option is a little bit rough, especially with those boots. So for the easiest possible 80 of the week, if you don't want to do any dungeon runs or hunt rare dyes, essentially any helm in the game, you need to dye that soot black dye. Any gloves in the game, dye those soot black dye, and then get yourself those Kudzu Culottes of Crafting from Muto in Kagane. This will of course lock you to a crafting class, but honestly it's not anywhere near as painful as the other options. Just your helm soot black, your gloves soot black, and those Kudzu Culottes of Crafting, and then basically anything in any of the other slots on your character sheet. Make sure everything is filled with a piece of gear, and then you are guaranteed an 80 score. Nice and easy, really useful for your ults, but of course, you know, the legs do lock that specifically to crafting. I suppose alternatively you could use the New World Jacket, which is equipable by all, but of course that is quite an expensive chest piece, and obviously the Kudzu Culottes are from just a vendor, so that's the difference. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful this week for week 111. If you're interested in looking at how people theorize this, I'll link that in the description as usual for Reddit. And if you have your own solutions, don't hesitate, feel free to post those below, and you might just help someone else out. Either way, thank you kindly for watching, enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you all next time.